Berlin. The night of October 5th, 1964. 12 meters underground. In a hole barely wider than a human body, 35 students wait for a signal. Above them stands the wall, and on the other side, people are waiting to disappear. For good. For 6 months they have been digging. With their bare hands, with buckets, with a rope winch. It is the longest, the deepest, the most expensive escape tunnel Berlin has ever seen. But on this night, one man will die. A young border guard, 21 years old. And for the next 25 years, East Germany will hide the truth about how he died. Because the truth points straight back at the state itself. This is the story of Tunnel 57. To understand why people would dig their way under a city, you have to go back to August 1961. Overnight, barbed wire rolls across Berlin. Families are cut apart mid-sentence. Whoever wakes up on the wrong side is trapped. Bernauer Straße becomes the symbol of this madness. The buildings stand in the east, but the sidewalk in front of them belongs to the west. People leap from the windows into the nets of West Berlin firefighters, so the regime bricks the windows shut. The houses themselves become the wall. Above ground, there is no way out anymore, so the escape routes go down. In the years after the wall goes up, people dig through the sewers, through old subway shafts, through hand-dug tunnels. There will be around 70 tunnel projects. Most of them fail, to groundwater, to collapsing sand, to fear, and again, to betrayal. But one of them will become famous. It begins in the cellar of a disused bakery. Bernauer Straße 97, West Berlin. An abandoned bakery. This is where it starts. The man who organizes it is a West Berlin escape helper. Around him gathers a group of students, mostly from the Free University, idealists, young people who cannot stand the fact that, just a few kilometers away, human beings are locked in. One of them will later fly into space as one of the first German astronauts. But right now, he is on his knees in the dirt, shoveling. They dig downward, first a shaft, more than 10 meters deep, then sideways, east, under the wall. The conditions are hell. In places, the tunnel is only 60 to 80 centimeters high. You cannot stand, you can barely kneel. The soil is sandy, the groundwater presses in. At any moment, the whole thing could collapse. Wooden planks brace the walls. A hose pumps fresh air to the front, or you would suffocate. And the sand has to go, ton after ton, hauled up with tubs and a winch, then hidden so no one grows suspicious. 6 months of this. A double life. Lectures by day, the tunnel by night. Not even their own girlfriends are allowed to know. One wrong word, and it is all over. To keep it funded, the group sells the exclusive rights to their story, in advance, to a West German magazine. The escape is financed by the very press that plans to report on it later. In early October 1964, they are ready. 145 meters. The breakthrough works. Not quite as planned, not in the house cellar, but in an old outhouse in the rear courtyard of Strelitzer Straße 55. The way to freedom is open. The system for bringing the escapees in is elaborate. Couriers pass code words. Anyone who wants to flee gets a time, an address, a signal. On the evening of October 3rd, it begins. One by one they appear in the dark courtyard. A knock. The hatch in the outhouse opens, and then down into the earth. Imagine what that means. 145 meters in the dark. On your hands and knees, your back pressed against wet boards, pushing your own child ahead of you. No light at the end. Only the voice of a stranger whispering, "Keep going, keep going." Families crawl through. A couple with their 3-year-old son. Elderly people. By the end of this night, 57 people, men, women, teenagers, small children, climb out of the hole on the western side and breathe free for the first time in years. It is the most successful tunnel escape in the history of the Berlin Wall. It could have ended right here, as a pure story of heroes. But the operation continues into a second night, and the group has no idea that a traitor has long since slipped in among the escapees. Among the roughly 120 people planned for the escape, there is an informant, a secret collaborator of the Stasi, the East German secret police. They know everything. On the night of October 4th, two men appear at the tunnel exit, plain clothes. They say they want to flee, and they say they just need to quickly fetch a friend who has just been released from prison. The escape helpers believe them. They let the two go, but the two are not escapees, they are Stasi men. They do not fetch a friend, they fetch the border guards. While the helpers wait in the courtyard for the two to return, an armed unit is forming in the darkness, and among the soldiers now moving in is a 21-year-old sergeant. He was only assigned as a reserve. His name, Egon Schultz. What happens in the next few seconds will occupy 2 German states, and the truth about it will stay locked away for 25 years. It is dark. It is chaos. The escape helpers suddenly see armed soldiers in front of them. One of the helpers, Christian Zobel, reacts in panic. He fires, several times, toward the soldiers. One of his bullets hits Egon Schultz in the shoulder. Schultz goes down, wounded but alive. He tries to get back up, and in that exact moment, his own comrades open fire. A burst from a Kalashnikov. In the dark, in the confusion, the bullets of the border guards strike their own man. Egon Schultz dies, not at the hands of an escape helper, but from the fire of his own people. The helpers flee back through the tunnel into the west. The second night ends in blood. And for East Germany, a problem begins in this moment, because the truth about this death is dangerous to the state itself. The investigators in East Berlin reconstruct what happened, and they see the truth. Zobel's shot only wounded Schultz. What killed him were the bullets of his own comrades. For a state that presents itself as the protector of its soldiers, this is a catastrophe. So the truth disappears. The Stasi makes the autopsy files vanish from the Charité hospital. The real sequence of events is declared a state secret. To the outside world, East Germany tells a completely different story. The next day, the papers say, West Berlin terrorists have murdered a border guard. Egon Schultz is turned into a hero, a martyr of socialism. More than 100 schools, streets, and barracks are named after him. A memorial plaque hangs on Strelitzer Strasse. Soldiers stand honor guard. An entire state builds a monument on a lie. And the man who actually fired the shot, Christian Zobel, in the West, carries the guilt for a death he did not cause. Until his own death in the 1980s, he believes he killed Egon Schultz. He never learns the truth. Only when the wall falls. Only when East Germany disappears. Only when the Stasi files are opened does the truth of that night finally come out. The documents show it in black and white. Egon Schultz died by friendly fire. East Germany had known all along, and lied all along, which leaves the question of who the guilty party really is. The students who wanted to pull people into freedom? The soldier who was only a reserve in the wrong place at the wrong moment? Or a system that built a wall people died at, and then used the death of its own soldier to cast itself as the victim? 57 people became free in those 2 nights. One young man lost his life, and the truth took 25 years to reach the light. The tunnel was filled in long ago. But in the pavement of Bernauer Strasse today, metal plates trace its path. 145 meters, so that no one forgets how far people were willing to go, literally, to escape a dictatorship.